Hey there, and welcome to Strength and Sisterhood, a podcast where faith, friendship, and fierce encouragement come together.
We're here to share stories that will inspire and lift each other up while we grow in faith together.
No matter where you are, we're here to remind you that you are never alone. With God and a little sisterhood, we're stronger together.
So grab a cup of coffee and get ready to be encouraged and empowered.
Hello, and welcome to Strength and Sisterhood. I'm Amy.
And I'm Summer.
And we're really glad that you're here today. Summer, you are back. You had the opportunity to go to teen camp this year, and this was actually your second year. Yeah. So you're no longer in your rookie season. I'm really glad that you're back, and that's actually going to be kind of the topic of our episode today. You're going to be filling us in on all the cool things that kind of what a day in camp is like. I did not go to camp as a kid. Did you go to camp?
No, I did VBS. I went to VBS, but I've never gone to like church camp.
Yes. Yeah. I was at VBS, but like it's hundreds of miles away.
Mm-hmm.
It's a state away. So you guys travel. Yeah.
2 states away.
2 states away. And so you guys travel. It's a long, like 13 hours.
Yeah.
And then about 13 hours away.
It is.
Sleepaway camp. I've never gone to sleepaway camp or anything like that.
Sleepaway camp. That's cute. Sleepaway camp.
That's what they call them, I think. I don't know. But a lot of people did. You know, a lot of people do camps, obviously, during the summertime. And a lot of people brings them back to their childhood. But I never participated in that. And as an adult, I always think it's kind of cool. Like we got to hear from the teens and hear what they got out of camp and stuff like that. We always get to hear about that. But I'm always kind of interested in hearing from the adults.
Are you?
Yeah, because you don't have the energy of a teenager.
No, for sure. They got a lot of energy.
They have a lot of energy, and it's quite the schedule. They fill up those days, and it goes by pretty quick.
On purpose.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, they wear down the physical.
Yes.
And feed into that spiritual man. So, but I always think it's kind of neat because the adults, it's a lot of work. Even to go as an adult, you know, you're driving for 2 days. There, 2 days back.
With a bunch of teens.
And then you're there at camp. And so it's not vacation. It's not a week-long vacation.
Not exactly.
But the benefit is you get away. You get away from the responsibilities of life, the obligations of day-to-day.
The normal.
Day in, day out life. And you get to, go out to a beautiful part of northern Idaho.
Absolutely stunning.
And there's just something sometimes about getting away, and you are busy during the day. So, but you're getting preaching. And then you guys said that you get preaching in the morning and in the evening.
Yep.
So you're getting a lot of preaching, and I was praying that it would be like a refreshment and a reset, because I know you're in a bit of a funk.
Right.
Before camp, and that's almost to be expected. Like usually before the Lord moves, or when the Lord's trying to work on people or prepare things, I think of that parable of the sower and the seed in the Bible. Birds come down and they try to take that seed up. And I think our adversary has a tendency to do that as well. Like camp is coming up. The Lord has things prepared for this person, counselor, camper, whoever it might be, preacher, nobody's exempt from
That's right.
the wiles of the devil, of our adversary. So I'm sure he tries to sow in all kinds of things. Distractions, discouragements, things like that. So, but look at us. We're just getting right into this. We need to fill up our cups first. All right, let's go fill them up. Okay, Summer. So what filled up your cup this week?
Well, I'm going to say, I know it's going to be about camp, but traveling with all the teenagers, they're just a lot of fun.
Sure.
And they do have a ton of energy, but they keep things very interesting. And all their different personalities, it's fun to be around.
Yeah.
And you bond with those kids.
Yeah.
I really enjoy that. I love being around them. I mean, if anything else, I really, truly do love being with them. They're a great group of kids.
Yeah.
So just being with them on the traveling there and, trying to help them throughout the week and then coming back, traveling with them, hearing their testimonies. It filled my cup for sure.
Yeah. Investing in them.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's good.
What about you? What's your fill my cup?
So for me, it was about a week or so ago. A friend came up to me before church service, and she pulled out of her pocket a little baggie that had some cookies in it.
I
Cookies
love
that she
cookies.
had baked, chocolate chip cookies. And she said, "Hey, I tried a new recipe, and I just thought I would share a couple with you and let me know what you think."
Sweet.
Oh, I let her know what I thought. They were delicious. Oh, I thanked her for it, and we were chatting a little bit. Then service started, and I put them in my purse and didn't really think about them until I was driving home. And I was at a stoplight, and I normally don't eat supper before church service on midweek. And so I was kind of hungry, and I was driving home. I was at a stoplight, and I thought, "Oh man, I'm hungry. Oh wait, I have some cookies." So I reached over, grabbed one, and oh my goodness,
Good.
they were so good.
Do you have any left to share?
No, I
I don't blame
savored
you.
the next. I ate one on the way home, and then the next day I savored the other two.
Look at you.
It was one of those types of cookies where it was just it was a chocolate chip cookie, but she had a little bit of salt on top, and so that with the sweetness of the
That sounds
chocolate
amazing.
was so good. It was like pull over, like I almost pulled over to enjoy.
They must have been good.
I called her. Like I didn't even wait till I got home. This is not a text. This is not I'm going to send you a text type of cookie. I'm giving you a phone call.
Who is this from? I need some names. I want to know the name.
I'll tell you.
You'll have to share me later.
Yeah.
Share me later. You'll have to share with me later.
Good. I don't know if I should really. I like that I'm on her list.
Oh.
I'll tell you. But no, it was just, here's the thing. The cookies, yes, they were delicious. But the reason it filled up my cup is not because it was delicious cookies. It filled up my cup because I just appreciated somebody being thoughtful. Of like, yeah,
right.
She didn't have to do that. She's got plenty of other people in her life that she could just, oh, here you go. But it was just very sweet.
Yeah.
I don't have very many people that bake me cookies, But this friend, I have to say, she's got a special place in my heart because she has done something like that before. I have family roots down in Ohio on my mom's side. They're from Ohio. Ohio's known as the Buckeye State.
Yes.
Right. The Ohio State Buckeyes is their football team, right? And Buckeyes are a nut. Well, they're also a dessert.
Okay.
And my granny always made them at Christmas time. And so I have very sweet, fond, cherished memories of making these Buckeyes with my granny, right? And they were my favorite dessert Christmas treat when I was a kid. And then my granny passed away, and it's a labor of love.
Sure.
And we don't make them all the time. We don't. They're very rich. They're very good. We don't always need them. So, but she learned how to make them. And now every Christmas, like
I know who you're talking about now.
Yeah. Every Christmas when we have our Christmas program at church, some people can always bring desserts.
She's a very good baker. Like she does really good with desserts.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. And so I don't know. It's just those little things. So a couple years ago, I was having a rough day and venting to her about it or whatever. And she'd shown up like a day or two later and had a plate full of Buckeyes. Hey, she sent in text, hey, just dropped them off in the back patio there. I didn't want them to melt outside, so they're on the table on your back patio.
She's so sweet.
Yeah. Like I know food isn't a love language, but food is my love language.
I agree.
So, yeah,
Yum.
that was just so sweet of her. And just the thought that, I don't know, just the thoughtfulness behind it. Mm-hmm. So, filled up my cup. Okay. Well, with that, now that our cups are full, my belly was full, we'll get into our topic. Okay. Okay, Summer. So, you went to youth camp. The theme this year was
faithful.
Faithful.
And it comes from Revelation 2:10.
Okay.
Part of that verse says, be thou faithful.
Be thou faithful. That's a really good topic.
Mm-hmm.
Like I said, as a young person, as a teen, I never participated in camp. But run down for us what it's like. Like, what does the camp look like? It's a private camp.
Yes.
And it's hosted by a local church there in northern Idaho, and that we're affiliated with. The pastors are related. Our pastor and the pastor of the church that puts it on. And it's a private, meaning not just anybody can go to this camp during this week. They have that designation, and then people have to register and stuff like that. So different churches get together. So, but what is the camp? Can you explain to us a little bit of what the camp looks like, and kind of like even just walk us through what a day at camp is like?
Sure. So this camp, like you had said, it's in northern Idaho. It's right on, I believe it's a lake. Maybe I'm wrong. Could be a river. I don't know. Lots of tall trees. It's beautiful. You can see the mountains and stuff. Cabins, they have different cabins set up. And then they have like a main lodge where they have a chapel, a cafeteria area. And we got there on Sunday. We left Saturday, traveled, stayed the night somewhere in Montana. And then the camp started 2:30 in the afternoon on Sunday. So we got all of our stuff set up, our cabin, our girls. It was 11 boys and 6 girls and 3 counselors. We ended up having service that night, kind of like an introduction. There was preaching, kind of laying the foundation for the week on, being faithful and what that kind of means and looks like. It was really good opening for the camp that week. Each day, though, Monday through Thursday, all 4 of those days, you're up early, you're staying up late. You have preaching in the morning, preaching at night. You're outside in the sun playing rough games. I mean, just games for, I think it's about 3 hours total throughout the day. You're outside in the heat and stuff, playing some water games and regular games. And then you have participation events for another 3 hours each day. So you can do rock climbing, high ropes. You can go swim. I think there's what's that thing where you throw the disc? Is it disc golf? Does that sound right?
Frothing. Frisbee.
What?
Frothing?
Frothing?
Frothing.
Oh, I froth my milk, but I don't know what that
Frisbee
is.
golf.
Oh, okay. Well, they have that.
Or disc golf.
They had like a pickleball court too. And so there's different participation events, mini golf. And then we do, breakfast, lunch, dinner. Those are all held. And then we have a 45-minute time in the evening before dinner where it's kind of just like the 3 R's: rest, relaxation, recuperation.
Sure.
So you can shower, you can get ready for dinner, you can take a nap, whatever you want to do, but you have to kind of be in your cabin. It's kind of just some downtime, which is really nice. And then I forgot to mention too, after each service, you have what's called God and I time. So he releases us from the services. We go back to the cabins with our groups. You have male cabins, then you have female cabins, and the female counselors stay with the females, and then so forth. And you stay with your kids for the most part. So it was just me, the counselor that was helping, and then our 6 girls. And after services, we'd go back to the cabin and have what's called God and I time, where we'd each kind of just share and open up about, what God spoke to us about in the message, or, what we're struggling with, or just a time to just talk.
Yeah.
Or sometimes, I know last year too, this year we didn't do it as much, but there were times last year where some of the girls would like to go spend time with themselves for a little bit. It's God and I time. So they would go spend some time kind of considering what they've got out of the message, and then we'd come together. And it's not very long. It's like 15, 20 minutes. And then you have to head up to the next activity. So the whole time, I mean, the schedule's pretty tight, moving from one thing to the next, but we did that after each service, and it was really good. And so then Friday, of course, it's just cleaning up cabins and then making sure, everything's good to go. And then we have our closing ceremony, which I forgot to mention. There's about 150 kids, I think, that are there at this camp from these different churches. And I don't know how many counselors, but each person is put on a team. There's 4 teams. And throughout the week, you are trying to earn points for your team. So the participation events, you can get points for doing the participation events. You get points for winning the games on the field. You get points for verses. So I think this year was a lot less than last year, but there was about 30 verses to memorize. And you get them signed off. A counselor, you have to, memorize them.
Sure.
Have them signed off on. And then there was bonus verses, which this whole week was on Hebrews chapter 11. and about the heroes of the faith. And so if you could recite those by memory, it was separate. I think there's 40 total verses. And so you could separate it into 2 sections.
Oh,
So
the
20
chapter,
verses each. The chapter, sorry,
chapter
yes.
of Hebrews 11.
You could get bonus points. So where one verse that you might have memorized from the made verses is 1,000 points each. Well, these bonus verses, if you could say all 20 at a time, you got an extra 10,000 points for your team. And that's huge. And so at the end of the week at that closing ceremony, they would say what team got the most points. And so then they had different like other things. Before each service, we'd have kind of like icebreakers, and they would have these fun games where some of the kids would have like trash bags over them, their head obviously out, but to cover them, they had to find jelly beans, I think it was, inside of a pie plate of Cool Whip, and had to spit them into it. There's just all these different fun games. So it's a lot of fun, high energy the whole week pretty much.
Sure.
And lots of good preaching, lots of time with our kids. It was wonderful.
Good. First of all, did your team win?
My team totally won.
Did they?
Yes, we were blue team and we won. And that's because of the verses. The verses hold more points because yes, camp is fun. There's a lot of good games and stuff and you can get points that way, but the main thing is still the word of God.
Sure.
The main thing is memorizing the verses. And so encouraging the kids to do that on our team was high on the priority list. And so, yeah, we won.
Awesome. What was maybe your biggest takeaway from camp this year?
My biggest takeaway had absolutely nothing to do with the theme, being faithful.
Really?
Yeah. So I realized being at camp that I do not have the best, I don't know. I'm very critical of myself. And a lot of the preaching spoke to me about how I see myself as insignificant, but God doesn't. And just all throughout the week, just God was showing me that I'm valuable in His eyes. And I need to start seeing myself as who I am in Christ and not just who I am as flesh and bones. Christ lives in me. And I need to consider that. The fact that I was even at camp is I have nothing good in myself that would cause that I deserve to be there.
Sure.
But because Christ in me and what He would want to use me for, that's why I'm there. And so I really have to get my mind off of myself and more on Him and how He can use me. So that was a lot of what I got out of it for myself personally. But there was a ton of things on being faithful that were really good.
Sure.
Yeah, all of the messages were really good.
Yeah. Was there any particular message that stood out to you?
I would say there was one. I think it was one of the final nights, and one of the pastors was preaching on, like I said, we were in Hebrews 11, so the heroes of the faith, and he titled the message, "The Unfaithful Faithful," and how all of those people who are in the heroes of the faith, you think of Noah and Moses who did really big things, they still had moments in their life where they had a lapse in faith. And so it was really interesting for them to take us through all of those, and probably not even all of them, but each person in there had an area in the Bible where you could go and see where they had a lapse in faith. And so we need to remember that even when we have a lapse in our faith at times, we need to still continue because we're not a failure unless we quit.
Oh, yeah.
And so we have to be flawed, but be faithful.
Yeah.
And just continue in it. And so it's encouraging to me, like, okay, I obviously don't see myself like Noah or Moses. I don't compare to any of those people, but I can still be faithful. Even when I'm not, I can make a choice to pick back up again and continue being faithful.
Yeah. I think that's good because I think it's such a human thing to do, is to look at characters in the Bible sometimes, especially that chapter, heroes of the, like it's been titled, Heroes of the Faith. And just think like, yeah, I mean, I'm nowhere near, have a tendency to kind of put them on a pedestal.
Yes.
And just be like, they're up there. I'll never obtain to that. But then realizing Like, oh yeah, they were just humans.
Right. Yeah.
And I think even Rahab is mentioned in there.
She is.
Rahab,
Who would have thought that she would even be in there?
right?
You know,
First of all, as a
woman.
and secondly, Rahab the harlot.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and I think it was during the testimony night from camp, somebody made mention of, you know, how would you feel if you were known like your last name or your greatest sin was attached with your name, like Amy the what, fill in the blank. Rahab the harlot. But like I love that's such a great picture of God's faithfulness and his goodness that he will take Rahab the harlot and place her. Mm-hmm. And like that's just such a great picture of he doesn't see us
right
through our insecurities and our sin and our weaknesses. He sees us in through Christ's righteousness. But yeah.
Well, even too, he talked about how the things that he even put in Hebrews 11 for some of those people are not what we would write.
Sure.
He was talking about how Isaac and Jacob, they get 2 verses, by faith, Isaac blessed Jacob and Esau concerning things to come. By faith, Jacob, when he was a dying, blessed both the sons of Joseph and worshiped, leaning upon the top of his staff. Like, that's what he decided to put in for
Sure.
Jacob. That's all he gets.
Right.
There's so many things you could put in there.
Yeah.
But it was this that God felt was like, nope, this is what I see as significant.
Yes.
And so even in our own lives, we think that the big things are the most significant because we look at things through fleshly eyes. But God's like, no, that's nothing.
Right.
What you did here where we see something small, God's like, no, that's big.
Mm-hmm.
That's what I want. That's what I look at.
Yeah. That's interesting.
I know.
Yeah.
It makes me feel like because I think I am so insignificant at times, it's like maybe I am able to do a lot more than I think for the Lord,
Well, I think you can. Like, I understand why you were chosen. Like you've said before, something about of maybe feeling inadequate. I know that was kind of even the youth group leader stood up and said, that he has, insecurities of feeling inadequate about leading the youth group and things like that. And I think to me that was almost kind of comforting because I have the same, like, Lord, you want me to do what? I've done Bible studies. You want me to lead the Bible study? Even with this podcast, you want me to do, like, why would anybody listen to? Why would anybody click on a podcast that has Amy's voice? Just feeling inadequate. But
well, that's exactly how I felt the whole time. Yeah, as inadequate. And I know we've talked about it before, but all the people that were there at camp, all the counselors, the preachers, there's a lot of adults there that were there to minister and assist with the kids and whatnot. And man, you look at their life and it's like they've been in it for a long time. They love the Lord. You can tell it. It's in their actions. It's in the words that they say. And I'm like, I do love the Lord too, but I don't feel like I'm where they're at. I don't feel like I've attained this moment like this to be able to be here and to minister to these teens. I don't feel like I'm honestly multiple times during God and I time. I felt like, I need a leader. Like I'm supposed to be helping lead these kids, but like, okay, I need a leader though. Like I need somebody I feel like I'm right there with them. One of the things that was said too, which was really good is one of the pastors is like, ladies, you aren't going to be beautiful forever. And, the things that you think are, you look at yourself in the mirror and you're not going to look like that forever. And those insecurities that you have, they don't go away when you become an adult. And I was like, amen. Because all the things that these girls, teens think about and their insecurities, I still have those today. They will always be there.
Mm-hmm.
We just have to learn how to manage them and realize who we are in Christ, And so it was really good. And I thought, man, I'm right here with them.
Yeah.
Like I'm right here learning with them. I'm not any higher than they are.
Speaking about that though. Yeah, exactly. And that's kind of where my thought process was with that is I was curious as to what your experience was as a counselor.
Mm.
Because even last year was your first year and you were a helper. But this year with, kind of the lead,
mm-hmm.
female lead counselor, kind of out of commission for the year. You had to step up and you kind of had to lead for our girls group. So how was that? Like, how was that for you because you kind of, I have learned or from my experience with ministering and stuff like that, there's a difference between being a helper and being in charge of or leading
there's a little
something.
bit more, I don't know if pressure is the word, but it holds a little bit more weight. I feel like maybe your mindset has to be different because you're not waiting for someone to be like, hey, can you help with this? Or can you do this? Or I'm not looking for ways of how can I be of assistance to her? It's more like, oh, it's on me. I need to guide and lead these girls. And it is different. It's totally different. I wish I could walk it. There's a part of me that wishes I could have walked into this and been like confident and I've got this. Like, I can do this. Like, I'm made for this. But that is not how I felt at all. Last year either. I walk into it like, what? Like, okay, how am I going to do this? Like, Lord, I need your help. I need you to guide me, guide my lips, guide my actions, help me to be a good example to these girls and help them to grow up and consider their future and that they're going to be future wives or moms or leaders or, workers and they're going to be in the world and they're going to have to deal with people who aren't like them necessarily or think like them. Yeah. So there's just all these factors and just considering their lives and there is a weight that goes with it. Yeah. I definitely lack confidence.
Well, and I think that there's Barbara even talking about it earlier today, that there's always kind of a balance to everything. And I think there's a certain amount of, I can see where the Lord would want a certain amount of lack of self-confidence so that you can trust in Him and lean upon Him.
Yeah. Yeah.
I can understand part of the reason on why you would be chosen, or asked to go, because He would want somebody in that position rather than somebody walking in and being like almost with an entitled attitude, of being like, well, of course I'm going to be here. Of course I'm the most equipped. And that when I read scriptures and I've just observed, the Lord takes the things that people that are going to need Him and to rely upon Him. You even think of Moses, for whatever reason, Moses is coming to my mind. Moses is like, you want me to speak and lead your people? I got this little, speech impediment thing. I don't really talk very well in front of people. That's fine. I'm not picking you because of your impeccable. I'm not choosing somebody who's a great orator. I'm choosing you for other reasons. And it confounds me. Even when we talked about earlier about the unfaithful, faithful, like the Lord just sees things so differently than we do as humans. And so I'm really thankful for that. But what are some things that you saw? Did you see any changes? Like, I know there's something about even with getting teens or even just people getting away for a week, getting disconnected from, like some of those kids, they called their parents like Sunday night. All right, we're headed off to the campsite now. I'll talk to you Friday.
They took phones away. That's one of the best parts about it. They do truly get to unplug. There's no TVs there. There's no phones or internet. So yeah, we took phones away, I think, at the last rest stop before we got to camp. And so, and really the whole time on the way to, we kind of told them, listen, you've been on your phones enough. Let's talk with each other. We could play games. So we played trivia back and forth between the vans and whatnot. And that's fun. And played music and sang and stuff. So it is good for them to unplug. I did see some of them seeing areas in their life of things that they need to get rid of. And other ones who have kind of, asked about prayer for things in their future and things that they were thankful for. It was really interesting to see them open up. But I think that getting away and getting rid of the distractions, you have like-minded people around you. You've got the Bible being preached. All the counselors love the Lord and want to serve the Lord. And so that shines through. And so it's just, and some of these kids are public schooled. Some of these kids are public schooled and their parents maybe aren't in church necessarily. Maybe they got invited because maybe they've only been going to church for like a couple weeks or came with a friend. So, best part about the camp, or one of the best parts, we did have a girl get saved.
Oh, that's awesome.
I think there actually might have been two. And I know this is kind of going off a little bit, but you know how we sing that song like, it was on a Monday, somebody touched me. It was on. So this girl got saved on Wednesday.
Yep.
And so when we got to Wednesday and she was able to stand up, I mean, there was so much hooting and hollering. And it just made me think of how, the verse in the Bible, like the amount of rejoicing in heaven over one sinner. I thought, man, if that's what it sounds like here, imagine what the praises are like in heaven right now. It was just the coolest thing. I turned and kind of looked at her and you could see the look on her face
Yeah.
and the joy, and the light that she had. Anyways, I don't know where we were before that, but I just remembered that and that was just really neat. And that's what we're here for.
Absolutely. That's what I was going to say.
Seeing souls being saved and choosing Christ, and man, it's amazing.
Yeah. And those things lead opportunity to have that. A youth camp provides that.
Mm-hmm.
So it's so important because some people might not go to church all the time, but
Right.
Okay, I'll go to camp or, so that's awesome.
I know. It's very, very neat.
Yeah. And the camp singing, I have heard.
Amy, these teens lifting up their voices, it'll give you goosebumps.
Well, I think that's something about too, like all those factors put together. The flesh is weary because it's tired.
Yep.
Physically being worn out.
Yes.
The spirit is strengthened because you're getting so much preaching, right? And you don't have the distractions of day-to-day life and responsibilities. You don't have the phones. You're out in nature, in creation. Like all of those things culminate together. And then iron sharpeneth iron, and you get all of those, you get 150 believers together.
Oh, yeah.
And there's just something about that.
Well, and parents aren't there. These teens are away from the people that they know, like their parents and their peers. And I think there's a part of that where walls can kind of come down too. And that's really neat. And I mean, I kid you not. It's every service. Almost all of them are at the altar after every service. You imagine a small room, essentially, with 150 people in them, plus some. And every person going to the altar. And the singing, and it's just amazing.
Yeah.
It really is. It's amazing.
Well, and I think that too, like it's out of the routine. It's out of the norm, because sometimes those things make us hesitate.
Right. They
I'm
do.
not going to get down the aisle because nobody's going to, like on a church Sunday morning or whatever, Sunday night or whenever service.
Yep.
I might not go down. I'll just do it here, But when you're in that environment and that like you hear other people going down, then yeah. Or you just don't even, like you said, walls come down. You just don't even care. Because you've given that attention. Yeah. You're hundreds of miles away from home.
Yep.
So even just that whole environment lends itself to the Spirit of the Lord moving.
Yeah. And I mean, these kids do not hold back in singing. I mean, they are shouting, they raise their hands, holding up their Bibles. It's wonderful.
Yeah, they can do that when they're home too.
They can do that. I don't know why there's not more of that. Like, come on. But it is really good.
Yeah. No,
and you try to record. Like I try to record them singing while I'm in there, but it does not do it justice.
Yeah. Yeah.
The sound, it's so loud, and it's voices. It's not all these instruments.
Right.
We're clouded by instruments. Like you have a piano, and then the voices is what you hear. And you could tell some of these kids, they know how to sing, and so they're playing melody and harmony.
Doing the different parts, yeah.
Man, there was one, it's in the video that my daughter made to show as a slideshow after camp. And Glory, I'm saved. Everybody's doing their parts. I will never not hear that in my head. It's beautiful.
Yeah. That's awesome.
Yeah.
I love that because I was praying. I was determined this year I don't think I did it last year. But I was determined this year to text you every day.
I'm so thankful for that.
Because and I didn't want to be a hint, like, I know this cell service is spotty. And so I was just like, you know what, whether she answers it, reply, you don't have to reply or anything like that, but just something that she can see on her screen whenever she sees it. And I was trying to be conscious of the 2-hour time difference.
Yeah.
So that when I get up at like 5:30 or 6 o'clock in the morning, you're not getting
It's
it.
not 3 o'clock in the morning. Yeah.
But I determined, I was like, I'm going to pray for her every day. And I'm going to
I'm
send
so
her a
thankful.
text. I mean, I was praying in the past. I've always prayed.
Yeah.
But I was determined this year to like send a text and be
You
like,
have no idea how helpful that was for me. And just, I was so thankful for that because I knew, well, one, I needed the prayer. And so to get that each day was like, oh, like I'm so thankful because it's a lot when you're ministering to people and then you're getting something from the Lord too. And, you know, there were challenges at camp as well. And so I needed the prayer. And I'm really thankful that you did that. Yeah, it meant a lot to me. So thank you very much.
oh, absolutely. Sometimes I just think too, like, I don't know, I'm trying to be more conscious of those things and like being faithful with that stuff of, you know, just send those things of encouragement because you don't know. I had no idea. You know, I don't know what you guys are doing. I don't know what's going on. I don't know, you know, how the Lord's working or with the Spirit, anything like that. But the Lord does. And so I'm just going to lift it up there and let Him move. But then also sometimes there's that amount of just knowing, like sometimes just knowing, okay, so, well, somebody's out there, you know, somebody's praying or just communicating that sometimes can be extremely helpful. Do you have anything else that you want to?
I don't think so.
Add? There's always a lot. It seems really hard. I mean, you're taking a week's worth of.
Yeah, I could say a whole lot more actually, but
yeah. But I guess my encouragement would just be to, for anybody who had a kid that went to camp, or if your church offers a camp, to pray about it. You know, it could be a huge investment, or even just, it just seems like a great opportunity. So thankful that you were able to participate in that.
Me too. I'm very grateful, and I don't take it lightly.
Yeah.
Being able to go.
All right. Well, with that, we're going to go ahead and swing on over into our gratitude segment.
Okay.
Okay. Okay, Summer. So what are you thankful for? What's your gratitude moment for today?
Well, while I was gone at camp, my other 2 kids were home, my oldest and my youngest. And first of all, I'm very thankful that she didn't kill him. I'm really happy that I came home to him, but she kept him busy all week long. And so much so that whenever I got home, I'm like, "Did you miss me?" And he was like, "Actually, I didn't really think about you." And I was like, "Oh, sad." But my daughter was saying, "Well, don't be sad. I kept him really busy. We stayed doing stuff all the time." And he had 2 days, 2 of the other moms that go to our church, they came and picked him up and spend the day with him and with their kids. And so that helps a lot. I didn't have to worry. I knew that they were taken care of and people were looking out for him. So I'm really thankful for that.
Yeah.
For my daughter doing that and for my church family.
Yeah, that's
coming in and helping too.
Peace of mind.
Yes,
that
for
he's
sure.
okay. Yeah, or that they're taken care of.
What about you?
Well, my gratitude moment is pretty easy today. And today is kind of a special day for me. It's my spiritual birthday today.
Happy birthday to you.
This is the one that I actually like. Yeah.
This one matters big time.
Yeah, this one is the one that I really look forward to.
Yeah.
Commemorating, each day, each year. But yeah, it was 23 years ago. Wow. 23 years ago today that I trusted Christ and got saved. I'm thankful to be saved. I'm thankful for the forgiveness. I'm thankful for being redeemed.
Amen. Yes.
I thought of, there's that verse, 2 Corinthians 5:17. Therefore, if any man be in Christ, he's a new creature. Old things are passed away. Behold, all things are become new. And I'm very thankful that 23 years ago, I became a new creature.
Amen.
And yeah, it completely changed my life.
Yes.
So
that's fantastic.
I still have a lot of work. I mean, still my life, I don't know. People call like, what's your life verse or whatever. I think one of my favorite verses though is Psalm 40. but especially Psalm 40, verse 17. But I am poor and needy, Lord, am I needy. Yet the Lord thinketh upon me. And it's just such a sweet thought that the Lord would think about me. Thou art my help and my deliverer. Make no tearing. Oh my God. Yeah, I love that verse.
That is a good verse.
I don't know. I just feel like I can relate to it. Make no tearing. Like, I'm looking forward to when he comes back.
Amen.
But yeah, just very thankful to be saved today. So, well, with that, we'll go ahead and wrap up our episode for today. And thank you, everybody, for listening. Thank you for those who have gone out and given us 5-star ratings. I think we've got like 4 or 5 on Apple Podcasts and Spotify. We're on number 9. We're knocking on double digits almost with those ratings. No, appreciate it. And anybody who's sent a comment or liked, even just liking on YouTube or Substack or wherever you listen to podcasts, even just listening, we appreciate it. Every Wednesday, I have a couple of people in my life that, hey, enjoyed the podcast today. I appreciate that. I appreciate anybody who takes the time to listen. So we do pray and hope that it's a blessing to you. Thank you for listening. You can catch us. You can reach out to us on Instagram or on Substack at Strength and Sisterhood. I think Instagram, it's what? Strength and Sisterhood Pod. Right on the gram. Check out our Instagram reel that we did a couple weeks ago. And then Substack is Strength and Sisterhood. I think it's just Strength and Sisterhood. We're on YouTube too. Like we're trying to be out there. All right, so we'll wrap it up. Thank you everybody for listening, and we'll see you next week. Until then, see you later.
Bye.
See ya.